All right, Academy Standouts 2021 Summer Week 12, which captured the Academy Worlds Finals. So, finals of the Academy playoffs, self contained Academy playoffs. And then also the final week of the Unified Grand Prix, which is the Proving Grounds qualifier. So, that was a tournament that was qualifying the last 6 teams into Proving Grounds, which is a 16-team tournament starting in September. And then the Academy playoffs, all of the 6 teams in those playoffs were already seeded into Proving Grounds, but this was determining both of those were determining seeding into the Proving Grounds as well. So all of that happened. UGP involved amateur teams as well. So, you can go and find information about that. Actually, I'll put a link in the video description for esports.mobalytics.gg, which is, you can also just type that in. And that has information about the UGP tournament, all the other NA amateur tournaments that have been happening throughout the year. But I want to talk about the players, of course, that stood out from these series. And it was really fun for me being able to be on the analyst desk for some of these matches and just watching the others. So let's jump into who stood out the most for me. So I'll start with kind of who was my series MVP for Academy Finals, and that was Haeri. So the mid laner for Team Liquid Academy. He's one of the Oceanic players that came over this year. I'm going to not scroll down too much yet because I don't want to reveal the rest of my list. Not that it really matters, but yeah, I thought so. Haeri came over as a mid laner from Oceania, and joined up with some other Oceanic representatives in Team Liquid Academy, notably Spawn as their head coach, and also Ayla at support. And he this year, he was pretty solid throughout. He was playing mostly control mages. He played a LeBlanc in game 1, and then he came in at game 5. TLA had won the first 2 games. Cloud9 Academy were on kind of the reverse sweep trajectory. We're bringing it back. And then Haeri brought out a Lee Sin mid. So a bit of a shift up in his style. He's played these melee bruisers before. This is something that he's definitely done. He's brought out Yasuo before as well. So he has this extra style to him. And the Lee Sin was the best game he had of the series. He went 4-0-9 on it. Made some big plays. Received some ganks really well. Of course, we had Ayla and Armeo playing into his lane, kind of like you'll get from Core JJ and Santorin on the main team, Liquid team. Similarities in their identity there. And throughout the series, I thought he did well playing in the side lanes, making sure that they were trading, cross map for objectives, whether they were ahead in the trade or behind. When he's playing Rise, that helps with that. But he was doing it just in general. I thought his team fighting was pretty decent. And he tied Armeo for the highest kill participation on the team, which I thought is a pretty good sign for a mid laner that, he's contributing a lot to what the team's putting together. So that was my series MVP for the finals. And you can see his numbers for that series are pretty good. Moving on to UGP, we had Will and Prismal were the standouts to me from that tournament. So Will for Dignitas Academy, they're the ones who won the UGP tournament. And not a huge surprise for them to win it, but TSM Academy were the highest seeded Academy team coming in. But both Dig Academy and Golden Guardians Academy were able to beat TSM Academy, prevent them from getting into the grand finals, and then Dig won in the end. Will was it was a great story of that grand finals and of that week leading up to it. As a 16-year-old rookie, you expect to get some big pop-off games from him. Coming in as a highly mechanical player is what you kind of assume when you bring in a player this young. And that's exactly what we got out of him. We got Viego and Xin Zhao. He put up 8 kills on each of those. Just a lot of big kind of pop-off style performances and high kill counts and big damage and all of that. So you can see it reflected in his KDA and also just how much he got ahead in early Golden experience. And a lot of that came from the stylistic matchup from him and Rosethorn in the finals. Partly just being a better jungler than a lot of the players he came up against throughout the tournament. But then in the finals especially, the jungle duel between him and Rosethorn was so interesting. And I talked about it a lot on the analyst desk. But if you didn't watch that, Rosethorn is much more of a gank-heavy kind of a jungler. That's where he's most comfortable. And that's the way he prefers to express himself. And then Will was a little bit more on the farm up and carry side. And that's what we saw for the first 4 games in the series until Will came out on the Xin Zhao in the last game and actually got to the ganks first and played that side of the matchup a little bit more. And it was a great duel between both of them. I thought Rosethorn was pretty good as well, but Will came out a little bit ahead. just had a great tournament. He's grown so quickly, I think, over the past couple of months since coming in kind of midsummer. And can't wait to see what this guy can do. I think he'll have a whole year in academy next year is my expectation. But assuming that happens, 2023 and onwards could be very, very exciting for this guy. And then Prismal, I mean, I've been talking about him all year. I talked about it a lot last year as well. I think he was very good throughout the week. I think his laning was strong. He played team fights really well. He was mostly playing kind of standard carries, not bringing out that Ziggs so much that he had been playing a lot during the year. Really impressed with what he did. Not surprised by any of it, but I think we can say that he's still ready to get that shot in the LCS, and he continues to remind us that, hey, I'm still here. Give me my chance, and I hope he gets it. A couple other players that I'd like to shout out: Soligo and Yeon. So Soligo is obviously the mid laner for Dignitas. Had been in the LCS for most of the year. He played a Malzahar pick in Game 5 against TSM Academy. That was pretty cool. Did really well on that, and then in the grand finals, when they won the title, he played 4 consecutive games of Rise and was doing very well in it. One of those, like, I don't know why they aren't banning it from him. He's influencing the game so much, and the counters aren't working. So yeah, he played really great. And Yeon, I thought, probably played some of his best games of the year, especially a really, really good Jhin game. He and Ayla, I think, have been pairing up pretty well all year. And Yeon is really coming along. I think I hope that he can kind of continue his growth curve and have some more of those kind of highlight games like he had on the Jhin in Proving Grounds. And if he can do that, I think he's really going to jump higher up on everybody's radar again. So good tournament, good series from him, rather. That was in the Academy Finals. And all these players, congratulations. We've got a bit of a break now going into Proving Grounds, so we won't be seeing these guys play until September 2nd, I believe, is the date that Proving Grounds kicks off. And again, check out that Mobalytics site for information on that tournament. I can't wait to see as more of the, we've got 9 of the Academy teams. CLG Academy, unfortunately, did not qualify and won't be there. So 9 Academy teams, 7 amateur teams, and all that interaction among all those players is just going to be really fascinating. Seeing Wildcard Red with Bradley and kind of the return of Arrow with Daption alongside him, like players like that coming in, and seeing if they can do what No-Org did back in spring and kind of show up these Academy guys, or whether the Academy teams are going to kind of reassert their dominance now that they've had another split. So really, really, really looking forward to Proving Grounds, so I'll cover it as much as I can. And in the meantime, thanks for watching this one.